Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk a little bit about mental illness before I start this story, because I've had a lot of people get onto my case for a while now because I have some harsh criticism just about criminals who do heinous things, and I don't believe there should be any excuses given for people, whether they're mentally challenged, emotionally challenged. I really don't care, especially if it involves our children, right? I think those people need to be dealt with, and we just need to move on in this world, because what we need solutions for our babies. That's where I stand with that. Now, with this particular story, it involves a 5-year-old boy by the name of Hinnant, who was only 5 years old. And this baby boy right here with this awesome, beautiful, innocent smile. There is absolutely nothing this baby could have done wrong to deserve the demise that he met at the hands of that damn demon over there. Okay? It really sucks. And like I said, man, I think this dude needs to be dealt with. But I'm going to tell you guys this. I have a new hashtag that we're going to call this. Hashtag no more excuses. Thank you. I like that. If y'all know one of our AFC hashtags, post it in the chat. One of our new hashtags is going to be hashtag stupid is as stupid thugs. Hashtag stupid is as stupid thugs. I want y'all to type that in the chat. That's going to be one of our new hashtags, because that's how I'm going to describe this damn idiot who has a long criminal history, which we're going to talk about, and we're going to expose it if you didn't already know. Now, the 5-year-old boy that you guys saw on my screen, which is this baby boy right here, that is 5-year-old Hinnant, and he was executed at point blank range with a gunshot to the head by that crazy, criminally insane dude that y'all saw on my screen, which was this idiot. He is 25 years old. He is a 25-year-old felon, and his name is Darius Nathaniel Sessoms, which is spelled Sessoms. Sessoms. With that stupid ass look on his face. Hashtag stupid is as stupid thugs. Like stupid is as stupid does, but instead of stupid is as stupid does, we're going to call it stupid is as stupid thugs. Because this dude is a thug, he's stupid, and he did something stupid. He should have never been allowed to be around any children at all. Now, that dude that you see on my screen did something to this baby boy. While this baby boy was out riding his bicycle, like most kids do in their neighborhoods, he was riding his bike and playing outside with his sisters outside of his own house on Sunday evening when he was shot in the head. I'm going to give you guys some details, so I want you to brace yourselves. If you can't handle it, then I understand if you can't be here to listen to it. For everybody else, I want y'all to hear the story of this baby. Listen to what this baby went through. Hinnant's brutal murder was reportedly witnessed by his 2 young sisters and a neighbor who could not believe what they saw. I saw him just run right up to him, and he put the gun right up to his head and shot him. And that's according to a neighbor by the name of Doris LeBrant, and she actually gave an interview, which we'll show that here in a minute. Darius Sessoms, who is Hinnant's next door neighbor, is being charged with first-degree murder. And yes, I said that he was a neighbor. He was familiar with this family. How does this even happen? Why does this even happen? Because it doesn't seem to have any logical reason why this happened, especially once I give you guys more information about this story, okay? Darius Sessoms was their neighbor. Hinnant's murder is being ignored by national media and has only been covered by local news outlets. I think that this absolutely should be a national story, and I'm going to tell you guys why I believe that it's not. It seems like whenever there is a certain narrative, when it's black on white crime or when it's black on black crime, it never seems to get the type of news coverage that I believe it should, which is national coverage, right? Because I don't believe that race should be the dictating factor as to what gets shown on the goddamn news. But it's funny how whenever a white person does something to any black person at all, whether they yell at them or scream at them or stand behind their car and block traffic, or whether they look at them wrong, or whether they get on the cell phone and call the police, or whatever it is that they have done that is not physical and not violent to people, oh shit, that makes national news. That's a national outcry. That's racist. That's racist. She shouldn't be allowed to do that. All the while, all it does is just minorly inconvenience you. But that makes national news. But what you have here is a beautiful baby boy. And this baby boy could have become anything. He was not allowed to speak for himself. He was not allowed to defend himself against a 25-year-old black male thug. That's what he is. I'm going to give you more details about why I label this jackass a thug. Besides that stupid look on his face. I believe if you have a stupid look on your face like that, you shouldn't be allowed to live in people's neighborhoods, right? You should be in a mental institution some damn where. That's just a stupid look on his face. It's so funny how we want to riot over grown people being murdered in the street for whatever reason. I get it. But it's funny how that same vitriol, that same feeling in your heart is not felt when it happens to children. And it makes me wonder why. Why do women's lives matter more than kids? Why do men's lives matter more than kids? Why does a grown black woman's life matter more than a kid? Why does a grown black man's life matter more than a kid? Why does anybody's life who is lost matter more than children? They are the smallest of us. They're the most defenseless of us. And they depend on us for every single thing that they get. These babies need us. And they need a voice. And that's what we tend to represent. Us as a family. Us in the chat. Now, let's keep going. Family members say that 5-year-old boy, Hinnant, was playing outside his father's house. Hashtag, where's the biological father? There he is. The father is here. He was playing outside of his father's house when he was shot in the head. The boy's 2 sisters, who range in age of 8 years old and 7 years old, saw their brother get shot, according to Hinnant's mother. Baby Hinnant was taken to Wilson Medical Center, but of course he succumbed to his injuries and he died. No details are available about the possible motive for the shooting, but the police say that this was not random. And again, I've told you guys, because they're neighbors, and he did know this family. He was familiar with this family, which makes this even weirder. Because Darius Sessoms lives next door to Hinnant's father. And yes, that's the same mugshot. He got tattoos all across his neck with that stupid look on his face right there. That stupid look right there. He lives next door to them, and the neighbor said that the 2 men actually had dinner together Saturday night, and that Darius Sessoms was at his neighbor's home earlier that same Sunday. Doris LeBrant, who was one of the neighbors who witnessed the shooting, said that Darius Sessoms, that guy, ran up to the 5-year-old boy, Hinnant. He took that gun, put it near his head, and shot him and fired that weapon before running back into his own house. The neighbor said, "My first reaction was he's playing with the kids. For a second, I thought that couldn't happen. People don't just run across the street and kill kids." She said she realized the gun was real when she saw Hinnant's father's reaction to the shooting, and she quickly went inside her home, locked the door, and tried to call 911. Why are we out here defunding the police when there are people that actually do appreciate the police? Why she tried to call 911, but I digress. She said, you don't expect to see somebody shoot someone. The news released a follow-up report about Darius Sessoms was caught by members of the U.S. Marshal Service, Carolina's Regional Fugitive Task Force. Damn, that is a lot of words. Goldsboro Police and the Wayne County Sheriff's Office. And they released this statement. Darius Sessoms was convicted of felony larceny of firearms in Wilson County in March of 2016. Remember when I called him a thug? Listen to this. He was convicted of felony larceny of firearms in Wilson County in March of 2016. Misdemeanor maintaining a place for a controlled substance in Wake County in April of 2016, and felony marijuana possession in Nash County in November of 2016, according to the North Carolina Department of Public Safety records. His probation was revoked twice in 2017, resulting in separate 3-month stints in prison. That's your thug. That's your criminal. That's your non-law abiding citizen. Okay? Court records show that Darius Sessoms has not one, but 2 pending counts of felony maintaining a vehicle, dwelling or place for a controlled substance in Wilson County. So there's still more charges that still need to be handled on his behalf. Now, this baby boy, Cannon's family and friends are demanding justice for Cannon on social media. If y'all could put that in the chat, hashtag justice for Cannon. Justice for Cannon in the chat. Cannon's life mattered. That's coming from somebody by the name of Heather Morgan on Facebook, and said, my 3-year-old grandson says to me, Mimi, I miss Cannon so much. Why did he have to be in that road, Mimi? I just want to play with him. They had a candlelit vigil that was organized for Friday night at 8 p.m. in Wilson County Courthouse. Not a balloon release, but they had a candlelit vigil. Thank goodness for that. Because a lot of people don't know how dangerous these balloons are. When you pollute the environment, you trash the environment, they can knock out power, they can hit power lines, they can kill animals. And also something that I just learned earlier today, shout out to Addie, by the way, that balloons can actually cause engine failures on airplanes. How many of you guys out there have ever flown in an airplane? How many of you guys would feel hella unsafe while you're tens of thousands of feet in the air and you have a malfunction with your airplane, with your life and your luggage, and your life hangs in the balance of somebody releasing some goddamn balloons, and that over one person that got killed, that could potentially kill 300 or 400 people on an airplane? How much sense does that make to continue to keep releasing balloons into the atmosphere? But I'm going to get off that rant for right now, since don't nobody want to hear that. He was just a loving kid, said Bonnie Waddle. Cannon's mother said through tears on Monday, according to the Wilson Times. He had the biggest heart. Now, there was a GoFundMe that was launched by a relative of Cannon's to help with funeral expenses, anything along the way for Cannon's mother and father with permission. Now, I know some people have some thoughts and feelings, but I am so serious when I say this about these GoFundMe accounts. GoFundMe should not supplement your lack of having insurance on your kid. And I know the mom and I know the dad are grieving right now. So understand, I get it. I get it. I know they're grieving. You ain't got to remind me. I know they're grieving. I get it. And I do have a heart for that. But this should be a clear reminder for everybody listening to my voice going forward to get life insurance on your children. So you have a 7-year-old and an 8-year-old child left over in the wake of this tragedy with baby Cannon, who was only 5 years old. Not only should we make sure and get justice for this baby, make sure that this baby gets a proper burial, but you also should take some of that GoFundMe money, get life insurance on your other kids. I'm not going to keep playing with you parents, and I'm not going to continue to keep making excuses for y'all that you's going through something, because I don't really care what you're going through emotionally. You have to be strong enough for your children to be responsible for your children. I thought that's what being a parent actually meant. For us to take care of our kids, watch our kids, protect our kids, nurse our kids, educate our kids, and to make sure that our kids have a stable future. Get life insurance on your kids and stop waiting for these benevolent people out there on GoFundMe to take care of something that you should have taken care of. Life insurance. Everybody needs it. Let's keep going with this story. That GoFundMe account grew up to $5,000, but the organizer said the donations can still be made directly to the Shingleton Funeral Home, which, again, that's the Shingleton Funeral Home for anybody who wants to do that. Now, another GoFundMe was launched after the prior one was paused. So, yes, I'm going to go in on these GoFundMes. I'm going to read that again. Another GoFundMe, a second GoFundMe was launched after the first one was paused. But y'all don't see a problem with that? That's not a problem. I think it's a problem. You should not be allowed to benefit off of the back of your children. In the AFC, we call that hashtag babies for benefits, because it seems like any benefit that we can collect from our children, we tend to do that in our society, and I don't like it, and I think it should stop. I think it's disgusting, I think it's despicable, and I think that people need to start thinking outside of themselves and start thinking more about these babies. There's no reason that this beautiful baby boy's life should not have been protected, at least by something as basic as life insurance. I think he deserved it. He absolutely deserved to have protection, okay? Now, I'm going to read this part because this is actually a personal comment from somebody who wrote this, and I thought it was actually pretty poignant. The national news media will blow up every story of a thug getting shot by the police to help trigger rioting and looting across the country. But when a criminal thug reportedly shoots a 5-year-old white child in the head, all we hear is crickets. Wow. Canon Hinnant's life mattered. If we had any honest media in the country, everybody should know this baby boy's name. And you know what? I agree. I agree with those sentiments. Let me give you guys the fair usage, and I'll show you guys the news videos, and let me let you hear what they said. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. All right, let's get it.
I'm Russ Boyd into Breaking News Center. A man wanted for shooting a 5-year-old child now under arrest tonight. Police just telling us, CBS 17, that they have arrested Darius Sessoms. He's accused of shooting and killing 5-year-old Canon Hinnant. Our Imani Payne is in Wilson with how the community is honoring the victim. And Imani, there must be relief that there has been an arrest.
There is some relief, but people here are still shocked and very heartbroken. Now, Wilson police tell us that the suspect, Darius Sessoms, was just arrested about 10 minutes ago. They say that the U.S. Marshal's Office did assist them in this arrest, and they say more information about the capture will be released soon. Now, if you remember, police tell us that Darius Sessoms shot and killed the 5-year-old little boy named Cannon on Archers Road Sunday night and then just took off. Tonight, the community will hold a End Violence Against Children peaceful protest and vigil. That's taking place at the Walmart on Forest Hills in honor of Cannon, saying senseless violence will not be tolerated here in Wilson. Now, the event is open to the public, and that is scheduled to start in about half an hour. For now, we're live in Wilson. Imani Payne, CBS 17 News.
Glad to hear an arrest has been. And we begin with breaking news this afternoon. Within the past 20 minutes, we learned the suspect accused of shooting and killing a 5-year-old boy is now in police custody. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. I'm David Crabtree.
And I'm Deborah Morgan. WRL Sloan Heffernan spoke with the child's grieving family today. She's live at the scene in Wilson. Sloan?
Deborah and David, there is a lot of relief in this neighborhood tonight now that the suspect is in police custody. Neighbors tell us that they witnessed what happened here last night. The shooting happened at this house. The suspect lives right next door at this house. One neighbor across the street tells us that the two had dinner together Friday night and that the suspect was even over at the victim's house yesterday afternoon. Later on in the evening at around 5:30, that neighbor tells us that the suspect came running across the lawn, came up to the little boy who was on the bike, and shot him in the head. His two sisters looking on. The question tonight, why?
5-year-old Cannon Hinnant loved to ride his bike and loved animals. His mother tells us he was always smiling and loved his family. Now the family is preparing for his funeral after they say he was shot in the head while playing outside at his father's home on Archer Road in Wilson at around 5:30 Sunday night. Police say 25-year-old Darius Sessoms, a neighbor, shot the child, and it was not an accident. The reason is still unclear. Police believe the suspect took off in this black Toyota Corolla without a front bumper. Cannon's family was too distraught to talk on camera. They just hope the killer is brought to justice.
And I just got off the phone with the child's grandmother, and she says the family is happy to hear this news. They are just devastated over the loss of this child. The suspect in this case has been brought from Goldsboro to Wilson and will now face first-degree murder charges. We will continue to work to get more information to find out what led to this murder. Back to you.
Again, to the people that get lost in translation and what I say, all I'm saying about this particular story is that there's a lot of things in it that do not make any sense. It is possible that this dude just could have had some issues and he could have just made a really, really stupid decision. But I'm just thinking in my heart of hearts, I'm thinking that something happened that set him off. We just don't know what. We haven't heard a statement from the dad yet. And like I say, you know, we're not making any definitive statements or really any speculations. So we're just going to hope that more information will come out and we can let you guys know kind of as we go. But nonetheless, this dude was a thug. He should not have had a car. He should not have had a gun at all. But he did because he's a non-law abiding citizen. That means we need to just deal with those people who are non-law abiding citizens and don't have them in our society until they can prove themselves to not be a danger. Okay? This baby boy did nothing wrong and he did not deserve what he got. Okay? And I think that thug that shot this dude needs to be handled to the fullest extent of the law. Hashtag stupid is stupid thugs. I'm going to tell you guys something. This baby boy seemed to have a bright smile. He seemed to be a very loving kid. And I think that he deserves justice. And I think that I don't really know how. There's nothing you could have did to prevent this. That dude just needs to be handled. Hashtag TTO and TTT. Need to handle him. Need to castrate him. And need to throw the book at him. Capital murder should get you life in prison or the death penalty. Straight up and down. Get rid of him. He's proven himself not to be worth any more breath in this life. Okay? I do want to put some respect on this baby boy's name with this beautiful bright smile. Again, his name is Cannon Hinnant. He was only 5 years old. That's my favorite picture of him. To Cannon, I want to wish this young prince an RIP. Hashtag justice for Cannon. Okay? This is your boy DJ Just J. We're the AFC where we advocate for children first. From my heart to yours, I love you guys and thank you guys for being here to listen to the story, okay?